So I made a list, right, of all the things that sync every single time that I see them. So all these things on this list, every time that I see them, they're meeting me synced or they're doing a sync thing every single time that I see them. So you can look at every video that I've ever made, ever. You can look at every single video that I've ever made, the entire video, like not just once on the video. Like I don't just see like one synced FedEx and then the rest the FedExes are unsynced throughout the video. No, the entire video I'll see a synced FedEx. Every time if I see a FedEx, every single one of them is synced. The entire video, every video that I've ever made. So here's a list of all the things that I see synced every single time I see them. And probably there's more things that I'm forgetting or whatever, but so here's the list. Appear trucks, the train, or the train horn, or trains driving out, the tail lift, buses of any kind, school buses, the Panthers school bus, like the Panthers high school football school bus, which used to sync on me all the time on a delivery drive late at night. And it syncs on me all the time every time I see it. The taxi cabs, the garbage trucks, the piglet mobiles, the fire trucks, the ambulance, the FedExes, the UPS, the mail truck, Domino's, and the blue Domino's cars sync with red and blue cars. And then that blue auto shop car is always synced every single time I see it. And it's always syncing with red and blue cars because it's a blue car. The Vulcan vans, which are green cars, and they'll sync with green cars sometimes. The petite trucks, vans, the Amazon, the Service Master vans and cars, the Red Cross, the LabCorp, the Johnson Plumbing, or whatever it is. It has red stripe on it, and it'll sync. It's a white van with red stripe on it, and white trucks with red stripes on it, I think, too. And then they'll sync with red cars because it has red stripe on it. And the Faith Regional cars and planes over my head are always synced. If there's a plane flying over my head, it's always synced. Like it's at a crosswalk or whatever. So like that list that I just mentioned, all those things, which is a lot of things. Like how many things is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 23 things. And all those things, I see them synced every single time that I see them. And you can look at every video I've ever made. And this is not an exaggeration. Like, this is not an exaggeration at all. It's not an exaggeration that all of these 23 things that I mentioned, every single time that I see them, on every video, on every 2,000 videos that I've ever made, are synced every single time that I see them. And like if I see a garbage truck like in the distance, it'll be synced. Like if I see a garbage truck like way down the street from me, And if a garbage truck is dumping the dumpster, it's synced. Like every single time I see all these 23 things that I mentioned, it's synced. Every single time on all 2,000 videos, the entire video. And then sometimes I'll see 2 FedExes at the same time, which I've seen multiple times on multiple videos. So, and then I think I saw a UPS sync with a FedEx the other day, or I've seen that before. I think it happened the other day. So, yeah, every single time that I see a taxi cab, it's synced. Every single time I see a Domino's, it's synced. Every single time I see anything that I mentioned on that list, it's synced. Any single time that I see anything on that list, it's synced. Like, every day. And you can see and you can watch every video that I've ever made and see it. And I can go outside right now and show you. Like, you can see it on the videos, on every video that I've ever made. And not only that, I can go outside right now and show it to you, and it'll be synced. Like, if I see a cop, it's gonna be synced. If I see a FedEx, it's gonna be synced. It's like 3 a.m. right now, so I'm probably not gonna see a FedEx. But if I see a cop, or if I see a ambulance, or if I see a garbage truck or whatever, it's gonna be synced. If I see a train or hear a train horn, it's gonna be synced. If I hear a church bell, it's gonna be synced. I think probably every church bell is synced. Most of them, at least. Like, if I look out my window right now and I see a cop, it's gonna be synced. So, like, you can look at all my videos and you can actually see this, but then people say that it's not synced. It's it is, though. Like, how is it not when it is? I need someone to explain this to me, man. Like, if I see a bus drive by right now, it's gonna sync with a cop or something. Like, just think about how crazy that is. Like, I don't ever see an unsynced cop. I don't ever see that, ever. Like, I've never seen that. I've never seen an unsynced cop. Or an unsynced service master van. I've never seen it unsynced. I've always seen it synced every time. And you can look at every video that I've ever made and you can see that they're always synced every time. And I can go outside right now and it'll be synced if I see it. And it'll be synced every time that I see it. And then if I go up and ask them, are you synced? They're like, I'm not synced. And then they're saying it's synced as they're doing a sync. And then they're driving away synced. And then I see them synced every single time that I see them after that. And they're synced. And certain people are always synced. And then they say that they're not synced. And they say it's synced with a red shirt on or whatever. And they're synced. I'm surrounded by people that say that it's not synced, but it's synced. And it is. And you can look at every video I've ever made and it proves that it is. And I can make another video right now and prove that it is. And I can keep making videos non-stop if I have the infinite battery life on my phone, and if I just like drink a bunch of coffee or snort a bunch of meth or something and stay awake forever so I can just record all the time. I don't do meth, but if I did, just so I could stay awake, just so I could record though, I could just record all the time and it would be synced every time. All those things that I mentioned on the list would be synced every time. Every time. 24/7. Every time. Like when I'm not recording, it's still every time. So how is it not every time when it is every time? Or how is it a coincidence if it's every time? I mean, how is it a coincidence if it's every time? How is it a coincidence if it's every time? How could it possibly be a coincidence if it's every time? Like if I see a cop once a week meeting me at an intersection, and then every other cop throughout the week is not meeting me at an intersection and doing sync things. If I just see a sync cop like every other day or 2 days, or like once a week or something, then you could say it's a coincidence. But if it's every time, every day, and you can see it on the video that it's every time, every day, you can see that it's every day, every time that I record, it's every time. Every time, and they're driving by specific places every time. like it's synced every time. Like every time I see a cop or a whatever, every time I see any of those things that I mentioned, is driving by at the Harbor Bar, Ravenwood Corner, the crosswalk, or whatever other place where they drive by all the time, on any street, they're gonna drive by at specific places and corners of buildings and stuff. On any street, they're gonna drive by at really specific places and curbs and corners of buildings and crosswalks and intersections and center of the street and etc. They're gonna drive by all these specific places, certain doors and whatever. So every time I see one of those things, they're gonna be driving by there, they're gonna be pulling up and parking next to me, they're gonna be honking right there, or they're gonna be setting off their siren right there, or they're gonna be, and then after they set off their siren, they're gonna drive by me with their siren synced, and then they're gonna honk their horn synced and switch up their siren sound synced, and then they're gonna and then they're gonna do a U-turn synced, or they're gonna whatever. They're gonna sync with other cars that are synced, and they're gonna sync, and they're gonna drive by me synced, and they're gonna sync. So I see a car right now. I saw a few cars a minute ago that look synced. I think that one was a white SUV. I don't know, but he's probably synced. I don't know. But all those things that I mentioned though on the list, every single time that I record is synced. Like it is synced. Like it is. Like you look at the video, every time I see a Pira truck, it syncs. Like I know I got a lot of videos, like 2,000 hours is a lot to watch, but like if you watch all of them though, or if you watch just as many as you can, everything that I mentioned on the list is synced every time that I see them. On every video. The entire video. Every video. That's not an exaggeration. It's not my imagination. It's a sync. Do you hear that? It's a sync. It's always a sync. So it is synced, like it is. So people just like insist that it's not, but it is. Like I'm literally surrounded by people that sync, and then they insist that it's not synced, but then it is You can see it on every video I've ever recorded that it is synced. That everything that I mentioned on on that list is synced. And then certain people that I always see are always synced. Like if you look at the videos, there's certain people that are always on them, they're always synced. I see a cop right now and he's synced. Just like every cop that I've ever seen and ever recorded is always synced. And I could turn my camera around and show you that he was synced. He met a car at the intersection and it was synced. And they drove out synced. It was synced. Just like every cop that I've ever seen, ever recorded throughout history, and they do weird shit next to me too, and they like do fake pullovers as I record next to me, and they'll do sync. And they'll do it right on the camera every time I see them. But yet, I'm just surrounded by people that say it's not sync, but it is sync. And they say that it's not sync because they sync, and they are sync. And it is sync. It is sync. They just say it's not until they die. Like right when I lean in my window, this car drives out. I don't know if that was synced. Probably. But he was driving like fast though. I don't know. I don't know. Was it sync? So and then it's just funny, but like it's like it's just insane, man, because it's just like they just like don't even like, like I'll see like 10 cops on one video or whatever. Like I'll see like 10 FedExes on one video, and like they'll all be synced, and they'll all be like really obviously synced, and they'll all be like meeting me at an intersection, and then like another FedEx will be like parking right next to me or whatever, and then like whatever, like it'll be really obviously synced, and it'll be 10 FedExes throughout the video that are really extremely obviously synced. And every video, all the FedExes ever are synced. And sometimes the FedExes have one light, and sometimes the garbage trucks have one light, and sometimes the mail trucks have one light, and sometimes the whatever. But like it's synced. And then yesterday there was a garbage truck that drove in front of me as a dog walker walked in front of me, and someone else walked behind the dog walker going the opposite direction at the same time. And it synced. And every single time I see a garbage truck, it's synced. And then there's videos where they're like pulling the lever next to me. There's multiple videos where they're doing that. And there's multiple videos where they're making the garbage truck dumpster slamming sounds synced as I walk up the street, walk by a crosswalk or whatever. And there's multiple videos where there's like 1,000 videos of garbage trucks synced. And they're always synced every single time that I see one. Yes or yes? Yes. Every single time that I see one, they're always synced. So just is, it just is every single time that I see one, they're always synced. So you can try to debate it, but it's not a debate though, because it's on the camera that it is every single time I see one, they're always synced. Like, I don't know why it's a debate, because it's not. It's on the camera. It's every single time I see one, they're always synced. All of the things I mentioned on the list, it's not a debate. Every single time that I see one, they're always synced. Every